All right, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahawashi Shai Bashem Rakah Kwadash. And double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahawashi Shai. And to include even the bishops under them and the brothers all the way down, overall to the elect whom this gospel is for. And Lord willing, you'll see my point in this lesson. And, much of already has been spoken about concerning this individual, that used to be down with us. So I don't need to really go into speaking on this guy, right? But one thing that I want to talk about is why it is a grave sin to do harm to a brother, which is something that we were speaking about at the camp, yesterday. And the spirit had us make some points, and this is when, I came in and I started talking, and the brother Kalab was if I'm correct, to my right, and we was bouncing off each other just a little bit concerning the topic of, what I'm gonna go into, right? And so what I wanted to do with this video here is just put things in perspective to make you see, again, why it was a grave move what this individual has done, in regards to his salvation, because as well as this reads over here in the book of Matthew 25 and verse 40, right? Now, this is Yahawashi giving a parable of, clothing a brother and, feeding a brother that it's a hungered. But there was a point that was said in verse 40, and I want to shoot straight to this point. And as this reads, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, in other words, truly, and as much as ye have done it unto the one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So, in this truth, we have to be able to take care of brothers and do all that which is right to brothers. And so, therefore, we do it unto Yahawashi, right? But again, when you strike a man for whatever reason, then that just goes to show you that you didn't really take this thing into consideration, that the brother who you've smitten is an actual believer of the anointed one. All right, and as well as you believe. So therefore, as it is written in the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, what one has to do is exercise discipline. And if your brother offends you, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. Because if you do something wrong, then you're gonna put yourself in a damnable situation. Right? So again, not straying away from the point, however you treat brothers in this thing of ours, you do it unto Yahawashi. So if you put hands on a brother, you basically put hands on Yahawashi. And that's the point that I want to dig into. Okay? Because it's quite equivalent to the men which spat at Yahawashi, the Jews and all of that didn't believe in him, and as well as those that actually smote him as well while on his persecution. As this reads, Matthew 26 and 67. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, prophesy unto us, thou Christ, or the anointed one, who is he that smote thee? Right. So again, you're no different from the guys that have spat at Yahawashi and smoted him while he was towards his persecution. All right? You're no different. And then one may say, oh yeah, well, I did it in the spirit of the Lord. No, you didn't do it in the spirit of the Lord, because as this reads, James 1 and 13 says, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, and neither tempted he any man, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And that's just the point. So the Most High cannot be tempted with evil. All right? The bottom line is that that individual got emotional. He was sensual. And as the Saquon said, he crashed out, man. Matthew 18:6. But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. And we are all his little ones that believe in him. So in conjunction, as the brotherhood that we are, we represent him. We are his body. So when you come around the body and you bring offenses to the body of men, which represents the body of Yahawashi, you're doing yourself a disservice. Whether you want to believe that we're devils, or we're just wicked ass niggas, however you want to perceive it, because guess what? Even Yahawashi was called a devil by the Pharisees and the Sadducees. They thought he had a devil on him. But regardless what you cannot negate is the fact that we believe on Yahawashi. Okay? And just watching that entire video, which I'm not gonna specifically speak on because everything that was said was perfectly said, beginning with the elder Apostle Gabar, and as well as I have to mention, because he first did a video on it, the brother from South Carolina, the elder Anat Bar, and as well as a live that I watched whole, of the head brother, one of the head brothers in the UK, the elder Require Come. He spoke on the matter as well. So everything that needed to be said, I didn't really have to say anything, and I don't need to say anything now. But I just want to speak on, once again, this topic of how what he did was a grave sin. Because at the end of the day, no matter what a brother does to you in this faith, you got to let that go. Okay? The scripture says to turn the other cheek. All right? Because as the scripture says, let no man take thy crown. You're going to allow a young brother in the faith to take your crown because you couldn't control your emotions, because as you thought he did A, B, and C to you. That means you were never, that actually means that you were never grounded in the faith. All right? Because if you were truly grounded in the faith, you wouldn't allow some young brother to make you lose your cool, to take your crown from you. Okay? This is, Matthew 5:38. You have heard that it have been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. So there you go. So this is going into also suffering for righteousness' sake as well. So if a brother offend you, it could be a brother that's within the same rankings as you. It could be a brother of higher rank or a camp leader. He may have said something to you through the spirit and you take offense to it. You're supposed to what? Accept it. You know what I mean? You're supposed to, take it on the chin, so to speak. Like if you truly believe in this thing and you truly believe in the reward which is coming, you're not going to allow any circumstances or any man to make you lose that. Because you see how important it is. But then once again, one has to be grounded in the faith and the belief of what he's involved in. And what I also want to do, man, it was a scripture that just came in my head. Oh, man. Let me see if I can do something. It might come back to my head. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, let me read this as well. This is 1 Peter's chapter 2 and verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because the anointed also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. So this is the Apostle Peter mentioning a few things of what he did, right? On what his approach was to things. Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. And here's the point. Who, when he was reviled, reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. And who is this him? The Most High. All right? So when he was being reviled, he didn't revile. So in other words, he just suffered whatever he had to go through. So that's the example. Yahawashi showed character. So that now there's no excuses on how we should be able to conduct ourselves. We should be able to conduct ourselves in a way that Yahawashi did. And that's just the thinking that we should have in our mind. Like, okay, what did Yahawashi do when he was on the earth 2,000 years ago? How did he move? Again, you got to retreat back to the scriptures, man. You know? Because men are quick to just get emotional on shit and stuff. And I mean, you know, brothers have been reproved on certain things, whatever, right? Because brothers weren't really acting on the spirit, but they were rather acting on their emotions instead. And we're all guilty of that. And so if that's what's leading us to a place of being reproved and rebuked, then we gotta focus our energy somewhere else. And we gotta be more focused on the spiritual side of things than the carnal side of things. All right? And that's what we're supposed to be growing up into, being more so spiritual men, holy men of the Lord, that's driven by the Spirit. All right? And if we can do that, we can more effectively follow the grand example of our faith, which is Yahawashi. Okay? That's just what it is, man. Okay? Because when you put hands on a brother, man, that's a grave sin. It's a grave sin. It's equivalent to, it's just like the elder apostle Gabar said, it's equivalent to committing adultery, is equivalent to murder. So when you do something like that, you know, as the saying goes, as we say nowadays, you know, you might as well just get your house in order. Okay? That's why we got to be careful out here, man, on what we're doing. So that's all I got to say with this, man. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakah HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi Brakatham, as well, to the elect whom this gospel is for, and also Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi Brakatham to the 144,000, of course, and as well as the rest of the elect, whom is the 1/3 that do follow, out of the sincerity of their hearts. And with that, I'm out. Shalom.